Football season is upon us, and for that, there is much rejoicing in our home. A few months ago, we had thought there might be a new way to stream live sports this fall, through Venu, a joint venture between Disney, Fox, and WBD.
Venu had promise. It was to introduce live feeds of 14 linear networks, including the ESPN networks, ABC, Fox, FS1, and 2, TNT, ESPN Plus, among others. And it was going to be priced at $43 a month. But after Fubo filed a lawsuit against Disney, Fox, and WBD claiming anti-competitive practices, and a judge agreed with Fubo, the fate of Venu is now uncertain. And while that news isn't new, the story is continuing to develop.
And with it, the future of streaming live sports. In this video, we'll take a quick look at the controversy and what it may mean for how we watch our favorite teams and games down the road. First, let's cover where things currently stand and what Venu's timeline looks like. Disney, Fox, and WBD are arguing that the ruling threatens to disrupt the sports streaming market.
U.S. District Court Judge Margaret Garnett has scheduled a pretrial conference for September 12th. But Venu has submitted an emergency motion to try and speed up the process of either getting the case dismissed or moved to trial and decided. They argue that time is of the essence because their investment in Venu and the employees hired for it are in limbo due to the court case. Venu would like to submit their main brief by September 20th and have Fubo respond by November 4th and have a hearing in December with a ruling shortly thereafter.
Why the rush? Well, if the court decides in their favor before January, Venu could launch in time for the NFL and college football playoffs. But the Second Circuit usually takes months or even sometimes years to rule, so Venu's timeline seems pretty optimistic.
Yeah, it seems unlikely that sports fans will be able to watch football on Venu this season. But more importantly than when Venu launches is the fact that the case has become a significant test of antitrust laws in the streaming industry. Let's break down why that is.
Fubo says that Disney bundled unwanted channels and imposed unfair terms on it by forcing it to carry non-sports channels in order to get ESPN and other wanted sports channels. So basically, the traditional cable bundle.
And Fubo argued that by offering only sports channels directly to consumers through Venu at a lower rate than what Fubo is able to offer them for is bad for consumers and anti-competitive.
Fubo's argument that Venu would allow Disney, Fox, and WBD to monopolize the sports streaming market has some legs if no other providers are allowed to offer just those sports channels.
Unsurprisingly, ESPN chair Jimmy Pitaro argues that Venu is pro-competitive, pro-consumer, and pro-sports fan. He says the fans they're going after have never subscribed to cable or a live TV streaming service or cut the cord years ago and haven't signed up for anything else.
Pitaro is arguing that they're going after a different kind of customer than Fubo, YouTube TV, and others are targeting. But that really could just be marketing speak.
And over time, with no one else able to offer a sports-only package of those networks, it is easy to see how Venu could just keep raising rates with no competitive pressure to keep them in check.
We can see it from both sides. Fubo needs to make some changes to be more valuable to consumers. At time of recording, its plans start at $80 a month and rise to more than $110 a month without promotional discounts. And that is far too expensive. And that's not good for consumers. Fubo suing the joint sports venture to keep it from launching could be pure self-preservation disguised as concern for consumers.
And at the same time, Venu is setting the stage for an environment where it could raise rates on consumers with no competition to keep price in check. It says it has spent at least $74 million to date to launch Venu. It obviously wants to recoup those costs, and we're the ones that are going to pay for it. And in this way, this case does raise questions about the future of sports streaming and what options will be available to consumers. So let's wrap up with a quick look at what the decision in this case could mean for streaming live sports.
Our first thought is around bundles. If the court says Venu is anti-competitive, could bundles become a thing of the past? Will the traditional cable bundle go away entirely? For example, if you want ESPN, will you still have to pay for Disney Channel, Freeform, and FX? Or will this case lead to an a la carte kind of offering?
If it's the latter, we're all for it. Last year, when Charter and Disney were at an impasse on carriage agreements, they reached a new kind of offering, a bundle of Disney Plus with ads, ESPN Plus, and ESPN's future direct-to-consumer service to select Spectrum TV customers.
But what if the case leads to different platforms not being comfortable bundling at all, like Max joining forces with Paramount Plus or the Disney bundle? Would these kind of offerings go away? If so, that would decrease consumer choice, and we don't like that.
It's also worth noting that there are a few other cases and ongoing activity that could change the future of the sports streaming landscape.
Yeah, WBD sued the NBA for not accepting its matching offer for one of the packages in the league's upcoming 11-year media rights deal. What is decided there could impact where we watch our team's games.
Sports are getting increasingly spread out across platforms. As we covered in our recent video on how to stream NFL games in 2024, it's getting harder and more expensive to find and watch all of your team's games. WBD suing the NBA is part of that. Another ongoing issue is the future of regional sports networks. Diamond Sports, which owns 18 networks under Bally Sports, is still in bankruptcy proceedings, but is trying to finalize deals to continue carrying games for 22 NBA and NHL teams. Its situation became more complicated recently when Amazon pulled back from its $115 million investment into Bally Sports. A separate distribution deal could still be reached, but the future looks less certain for the struggling RSN.
And ESPN could throw a further wrench into that. Jimmy Pitaro said recently that he's focused on acquiring local sports rights as part of ESPN's direct-to-consumer streaming service launch. And he said that the sports broadcasting giant is exploring ways to expand its presence in regional sports markets, saying, quote, "We want to be part of the solution," end quote, in reference to the ongoing bankruptcy and legal troubles with Diamond Sports.
It's clear that Pitaro sees this as an opportunity to expand ESPN's regional sports and local sports offerings, possibly through acquisitions or partnerships. He said that ESPN would not likely seek exclusive local rights, but would simply carry them as a means of convenience for subscribers who want ESPN and their locals all in one place.
Yeah, its plans to include a Where to Watch section in the guide in the ESPN app will help with that convenience, as it'll make it easier to see where every sporting event is airing each day. It will include all games, whether they be broadcast, cable, on an RSN, or streaming service, and fans can click directly into each game, whether it's on ESPN or not.
Of course, you will have to pay for that service in order to watch the given game, but it is providing some of the aggregation that people are asking for.
If ESPN can deliver it within its app for sports, it could attract subscribers to ESPN as a standalone service and give it another means for growing revenue. And that will matter even more if Venu never makes it to market.
Yeah, and it all showcases how dynamic the streaming space is, especially for live sports. What the future of it looks like is still very much up in the air. We'll keep following the latest changes and sharing them with you here on our channel and in our live streams that air on Fridays at noon Central.
Do you think Venu will make it to market? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can get all our latest news and reviews when they drop. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.